You know that feeling, right? You get this brilliant, amazing idea for a creative project. You get all excited, you start a Pinterest board, maybe we even fill up an online shopping cart with all the supplies. And then nothing. If you have a whole graveyard of incredible ideas you never got off the ground, trust me, you are not alone.
So, what is going on there? Why do so many of our best, most exciting creative impulses just sort of fizzle out before we even begin?
Well, the answer is actually kind of a relief. It's not because you're not creative enough. Nope. The real villain here is what the source material calls the messy middle. And you know exactly what that is. It's that giant, tangled, and honestly intimidating gap between the bright idea and the very first action you need to take. Okay, let's dive into this idea graveyard for a second and figure out exactly why these projects stall out. It's a surprisingly common pattern, and, just understanding it is the first step to finally breaking it. It almost always comes down to this flood of practical questions. You see a beautiful tutorial online, but it assumes you have a whole workshop full of gear. You're thinking, okay, what stuff do I actually need to buy? Or how long is this realistically going to take me? And then you get the big ones. What if I mess this up completely? Where do I even start as a total beginner? These little uncertainties, they are the real momentum killers. So this is where we can start thinking in a totally new way. Let's introduce a new kind of creative partner into the mix, AI. And the key here, the really important part, is to completely reframe how we think about what it's for. And this part is absolutely critical. We've got to stop thinking of AI as the artist that's trying to replace our vision. That's not it at all. Instead, think of it as your own personal, very patient, very practical planner. It's a problem solver that's on call 24/7. And maybe the best part of all, it's a non-judgmental coach. It literally does not care if your first 10 attempts don't work out. Okay, so enough theory. Let's actually put this into practice. The source material gives us a perfect example of how this all works, taking that vague idea of, I want to try watercolor, and turning it into a concrete, actual first step. Now, notice how specific and conversational this prompt is. It's not just teach me watercolor. It clearly states the goal, learning the basics, and it names the fear, being overwhelmed. By giving the AI this level of detail about your problem, you're setting it up to give you a truly helpful, targeted response. And just look at the action plan this creates. It's not some generic tutorial. It suggests a simple subject to start with. It creates a minimal, budget-friendly supply list so you're not wasting money. It gives you an actual practice plan. And maybe most importantly, it prepares you for the common mistakes, which just removes so much of that initial fear of failure. But the AI's job isn't done after the planning is over. Its real power, its real magic, often kicks in right there in that messy middle, that exact moment you get stuck and would normally just give up. And this isn't just for painting, not at all. Let's say you're a writer. Instead of just staring at a blank page with writer's block, you can present a very specific plot problem like this. You're not asking it to write for you. You're using it as a brainstorming partner to generate possibilities you might not have even considered. The same thing goes for any hands-on crafts. Your project hits a snag, a piece is cut wrong, the color isn't right. Instead of abandoning it, you can just describe the problem to the AI and ask for options. It becomes an instant troubleshooter, helping you adapt and even salvage your work. And all of this, the planning, the problem solving, it all leads to something much deeper than just a finished project. It leads to the real reward here, building genuine creative confidence. Because here it is, the crucial takeaway. AI creates a judgment-free zone. It removes that intense pressure of perfectionism that so often paralyzes us. With a tool that will patiently help you figure out the next step, no matter how many times you ask, you're finally free to experiment, to make mistakes, and to actually learn. It gives you permission to just start. Ultimately, this is the secret ingredient. Most of us are pretty terrible at estimating how long projects will really take or what might go wrong. Using AI for realistic project planning, that is what transforms an idea from a pile of supplies collecting dust and guilt in a closet into something you actually finish and enjoy. So, that leaves us with one final thought. With a patient planner and a problem solver ready to help, that barrier between your idea and the first step is lower than it has ever been. So, what creative project will you finally start?